There was once a great philosopher named Confucius. One day, Confucius asked his favorite disciple, Tseng-Tzu, if he knew what the former kings practiced in their land in order to maintain peace and harmony. Clueless, Tseng-Tzu replied, "How could he who lacked of knowledge know this?" Confucius explained that the kings followed a simple principle. The root of all virtues nurturing moral teaching was known as Xiao, or Filial Piety. Filial piety begins with children learning how to respect and bring glory to their parents' names. They are careful of their conduct and are frugal, all in order to nourish their parents.
Parent-child relationship being so fundamental to human relations and human society in general. So that's why that virtue, as a virtue that reflects the proper way to treat your parents, becomes the most fundamental virtue in Confucianism as well.
But what the ancient kings had held sacred is rarely practiced anymore. Madame Zainon Yusof is a 62-year-old widow who lives alone in a 3-room flat located at Tampines. She's been living alone for 5 years, ever since her children chased her out of their homes. In 1999, she was diagnosed with kidney failure. To her dismay, none of her children were willing to look after her.
Pergi dialisis sendiri, duduk sendiri. Macam diorang tak boleh berat, datang dari kecil. Kalau dengar macam ada duit, diorang minta. Mungkin salah cik tak didik diorang dengan agama. Jadi salah cik. Didikkan diorang ni semua dengan duit. Kan cik cakap cik kan ada duit dulu cik niaga. Diorang nak duit apa kita kasih kan. Apa diorang nak beli semua kita kasih, kita belikan.
A bad fall has left Madame Zainon wheelchair-bound, which limits her trips outdoors. These lonely hours at home every day leaves her with empty wishes for her children to change one day.
Pasal kita dah sakit. Kita sakit, kita tak ada duit. Itu pasal dia tak nak jaga kita kan. Kita kena jaga dia orang, dia tak jaga kita. Cik boleh maafkan dia, tapi dia mesti nak jumpa cik lah, cakap dia bersalah kan. Takkan mak tak maafkan dia Cik mahu dia orang, yelah hormati orang tua, jangan malah-malah. Harapan cik kalau boleh dia orang baiklah.
As a single parent, she has worked all her life for her children, but when she needed them most, they abandoned her. All she can do now is to hope for a change.
If a person cannot even treat their parents well, then this person has a fundamental flaw in his or her character, and you cannot rely on such a person to treat other people well. So it then becomes one of the most basic human virtue that Confucianism expects people to acquire as part of their personal cultivation.
Although filial piety starts from home, its principles extend very much beyond those walls. As a child grows, he has to attend school. The school then becomes his second home. How the child gave respect at home to the parents should now be given to the teacher.
You know, the Chinese call their teacher always 师父, 师父. It means it's not only teacher, it's teacher, father, right? Fu is the term for father, right? So it's true. And then there's a saying that says, if someone is a teacher for one day, that person is like your father forever, right? 一日为师，终身为父, right? So the respect and what you owe them is as much as what you would owe your parents.
Throughout the years, the social relationship between teachers and their students has changed. Students no longer look up to their teachers as compared to the past. On the 26th of April 2007, a student was charged for using abusive language on a teacher.
What is it about? The advertisement. Hey, this is my property, you know.
He want to listen but not in my class.
The boy was sentenced to 12 months probation, during which he performed 60 hours of community service.
The younger generation today, they are more savvy. They are facing more exposure from the media, both in local and global terms. They are very internet savvy. They tap on a lot of social media, and I think that has reconfigured how they think, the kind of lifestyles that they want to adhere to or they want to move towards.
In this modern society, the world has become smaller through the advancement of technology. People are more exposed to different cultures and lifestyles. Hence, the perspective of filial piety has changed. Back in ancient China, people treated the emperor with respect. This is the same kind of respect the child has given to the parents and the student has given to the teacher. It formed the basis of the relationship between emperor and the people and bound them together strongly as a nation. Today, the Singapore government understands the importance of filial piety, and so they have fused its morals and values into the national ideology.
Singapore's government in the last few decades have operated on 5 main shared values, one of which is family is the basic unit of society. Other values would be community above self. So there is always this emphasis on how the individual ought to be contributing to society and place many things above self. And then family is one of the crux points there.
In this age of civilization, to preserve Singapore's Asian identity, the government has been using the concept of shared values. Filial piety has been one of the focal points amongst these values. The Maintenance of Parents Act was introduced for the elderly parents who are not being maintained by their children. Financially disadvantaged residents aged 60 and above can claim support from their children who are capable of sustaining them but are not doing so. Such rules were implemented with hope to bring back the values of filial piety.
That law itself is an admission that Singapore as a society has lost that value, right? That Confucian value of filial piety is almost non-existent nowadays. Otherwise, there will be no need for the law. Okay? If you have to actually threaten or actually punish a person for not taking care of their parents, right? And this actually, from a Confucian point of view, is a very pathetic situation in the society.
Ibarat pun di sini orang nak buat gitu juga, kita nak cakap biar dia orang. Selagi dia orang boleh buat, orang tu buat. Cakap. Sampai mana Asia cakap.
Even for Madam Zainon, respect and obedience is not something that should be forced. It should be acquired from the sincere hearts of her children.
This has to come from the heart. This has to be cultivated. It's not something that can be forced out of you. Whatever is forced out of you is only something that you do under duress, and it completely lost that spirit, right? Certainly not a virtue anymore.
Filial piety is a significant virtue that not only nurtures one's relationships with others, but also maintains peace and harmony within a country. With the loss in practice of filial piety, will the implementation of more laws be the only way to reinstate these values?